Very warm welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. As a moderator, I could not have asked for a better topic because I think this is one of the more pressing issues that we are grappling with today, and I could not have asked for a better set of panelists and a more informed audience. Before I start the panel discussion, let me just set the topic and give it a little more context, especially when everybody talks about how India is at a sweet spot, we have a young population, and yes, that is true because by 2020, India will be the world's youngest country. And we've all often, we've sort of parroted the statistics that 2/3 of India's population is below the age of 35. But take a moment to digest that number, and I urge you to do that because when we say 2/3 of our population, we're talking about 800 million people. From an economic standpoint, the opportunities are very clear. It means more people are productive, therefore they can join the workforce. More people in the workforce would mean more disposable income, more consumption of goods and services, which is going to give a boost to domestic growth. Some economists even say can boost growth by up to 2%. Very recently, Harvard University, they came out with a study, and they drew a correlation between a younger population and political violence. In fact, the report goes on to say that youth often plays a prominent role in political violence, and the existence of a youth bulge has been associated with times of political crisis. And the writer concludes, therefore, it's imperative for the government to focus more on education, focus more on healthcare, and ensure that economic growth and the economy continues to grow. Well, I didn't want to bore you with all the statistics, but just to sort of lay out the context for you, and the basic themes we'll be talking about today is transforming education and employability, enabling innovation and entrepreneurship, and empowering youth through sports, arts, and culture. I'm happy I'm just the moderator and I will not be taking any of the answers or questions to these vexatious issues. So let me open the panel with Mr. Jayant Sinha, former alumni of IIT Delhi. Must be good to be back, sir?
Very good to be back. Thank you.
All right. Let's talk about, because Prime Minister Modi has painted this, his vision is of creating a new India. And that clearly has resonated with a lot of youngsters around the country. Talk to me about the key achievements of the Prime Minister Modi's government in the last 3.5 years, and some of the challenges that you foresee going forward.
Thank you very much, Ron. And once again, let me say how happy and glad I am to be back in Seminar Hall here at IIT Delhi, which, of course, as you know, is where I did my undergraduate engineering degree and graduated in prehistory in 1985. So a very long time ago, but again, very glad to be here and very glad to participate in this panel and to really grapple with a set of very important issues that you're raising. And in fact, these are the issues that we should be discussing. These are the issues that really will drive our future, our standing in the world, and the well-being of our people in the next 10, 20, 30 years. And we should really reflect on those. The good news, I think, is that the reforms that we have undertaken over the last 3 years have positioned us very well to be a successful player in the global economy of the 21st century. And we have undertaken a very deep and broad set of reforms. I have characterized those as reforms 3.0. And I think what we've accomplished in the last 3.5 years is actually much more sweeping, much more profound than what was done in the reforms of 1991, reforms 1.0, or the reforms of Atalji's government from 98 to 2004. So reforms 3.0 are preparing us very, very well for the future. And really, I characterize them in 3 important categories. One, of course, is that we have formalized the economy through GST, demonetization, digital payments. By all of the measures that we've undertaken, we've taken by some estimates, between 20 to 40% of the Indian economy that was in the informal sector and started to bring it into the mainstream, into the formal sector. So they're paying taxes, they can take advantage of digital payments, digital transactions, they can get plugged into the 21st century global economy and so on. So that is a very profound and very important set of changes that we've undertaken. Number 2, we've focused on being cost competitive. And again, there's a whole host of things there. Obviously building out a very high quality world-class infrastructure, ease of doing business, removing the FDI regulations that were inhibiting investment. So there's a lot we've done to make the economy genuinely cost competitive going forward. And the third area, which is the most profound, most important area, is that we are positioning India to be an innovation-driven economy. Because we know that economic well-being in the long run for the 20, 30, 40 years of this billion-strong workforce that we're going to have is going to fundamentally be driven by innovation and productivity. And so for us, what we've done through Startup India, Stand Up India, Atal Innovation Mission, the India Aspiration Fund, creating a domestic venture capital industry, these are the drivers. These are the drivers that will really propel our economy forward through innovation and productivity. And I'll close, Ron, by saying the following. I've spent many, many years in America, 22 years in America. And what the American economy has been able to achieve is that it has become the entrepreneurial engine for the top 1 billion people on the planet, the affluent people on this planet. I think what India can become and will become is to be the entrepreneurial engine for the next 6 billion people on the planet, because we are innovating our services, our products. They're being developed for a design point that is uniquely Indian. It's 80% of the features that you get when you buy something in the US, but at 20% of the price. 80% of the features, 80% of the functionality for 20% of the price. That's India's design point. That is the affordability revolution, the entrepreneurial revolution that we've embarked on. And I think that's what's going to propel us forward in the future. And that's what we as a government have been focused on.